I want to touch on how you met your husband, because I think that's the funniest story I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what part of it? I don't know.
Well, the part where your staff must love you.
Oh,
a
yes,
ton.
yes.
Because
yes.
tell that a little bit.
Okay.
That is hysterical.
So I just got out of a relationship and I was 38 at the time. And I was like, how am I going to meet anyone? You know, I'm not going to go to a bar. And so my staff, I walked in the store and there was a Sugar Bliss bag, and had a bunch of business cards in there. And I was like, what is this?
Are we doing a drawing?
I know. I was like, is this like new catering clients that we're trying to get? And they're like, and I was like, what did you guys do? And they're like, so we're trying to help you date. And I was like, what? And they're like, we surveyed customers that came in. I go, what? And so they basically got business cards of guys that were single. I mean, well, I don't know.
We don't know if they were single or not.
They didn't have a wedding band. Came in solo. 2 employees had to verify that they were okay. And I was
They must have had so many laughing attacks.
Yes.
This.
And I
imagine.
I don't know where I was when this was happening. You know, I'm always at the store. So anyways, I was like, we're not doing this.
They would probably look at each other and go,
a couple
he's
of them.
cute. They called them.
And they told them when they asked them for the business card, this is date the business owner. And I was like,
this is date the business owner
and
bucket.
there is a picture of me at the store, but it was like 10 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So anyways, I was like,
so they were willing when they threw their name in the hat. They knew that this was to date the owner.
Yes. And I think one of them told me that one guy was like, what's the process like or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, please don't do this, you know? So, I mean, I never went on a date with any of them. Thank God. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah. So, but yeah, then they decided to sign me up for different dating apps. And so I met my husband on Tinder. Didn't know, like, swipe left, swipe right. Didn't know what swipe up was super like. But yeah, so we met on Tinder in 2017.
Did you have to kiss many frogs to meet Patrick?
You know, I didn't.
No,
you know,
that's
I don't
good.
know. I don't know. I got lucky, I guess. You know,
I've heard
I think
that.
I went on
know
a
lot of
couple
people
dates,
that have.
but not like that many. You know,
Good.
I think I was like picky. You know, I was like Bumble and all, Hinge. Yeah, I don't even know what other dating apps are now. So yeah. So I'm sure he's gonna love it. Like, I'm gonna let him listen to the podcast. He's like, really? He's gonna. I didn't know the part. I don't think I've ever told him about the business card. So yeah, he's gonna feel like, wait. And I'm like, oh,
You say you were lucky.
Yeah, then he's gonna become my boyfriend again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So then you guys dated for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then your engagement is really funny too.
Oh yeah. So my birthday was in March, and then he took me to San Francisco, or like we're gonna drive up around the coast. And we left the airport, got in our rental car, put all our stuff in there, and then he was like, it was raining, and so we realized we were in the wrong car, the same car, but just a different one. So we moved our stuff there, but he didn't move all of his stuff. We drove off the lot. He's like, hey, you know, is my backpack in the car? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm on the phone with someone. He's like, can you get off the phone? I was like, okay, you know, what's going on? He's like, and I was like, okay, no, it's not here. He's like, the engagement ring is in there. I go, the what? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, turn around. And like, it's like raining. And so we turned around.
Like, that's not how I pictured someone would ask me.
No, I was like, and so we got to the rental car, but we couldn't get in. So I had to like run in there, and I'm running, and I opened the car, and the backpack is still there. I'm like, oh, thank God. You know, and I was like, did you get this insured? And he's like, I hadn't yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can marry you because of that, you know? So got the back. So now day 1 of 7 days, I know he's going to propose, just don't know when. And then he was going to propose to me in Big Sur, but then it got rained out. And then he was going to propose to me at Hearst Castle, and someone just proposed like 5 minutes before. And so I'm literally thinking, like, we're just going to get on the airplane. He's just going to open the, you know, tray and be like, here, will you marry me? Like, so it was like the last day, and we're sitting at the beach, and he says, will you marry me? And I was like, yes. And he like popped back up, and he's like, okay, like, no, like, doesn't want anyone to know, you know? And I had bad allergies that day. And so I had told him my ring size was 5.5, but it's really like 6.5 or something like that. And so I thought my finger was just swollen because of allergies. So I shoved, you know, you're excited. So I shoved the ring on there.
I mean, you can't put it on your pinky that day.
No, so I shoved the ring on there, and I'm like, like 5 minutes into the picture, like, you know, you take the one like this, my finger is like purple, you know? And that
hurts.
I know. And he's just like, you could probably take it off. I'm like, can't take it off. And so fortunately we're flying back to Chicago, and like I tried all the lotion, dental floss, you know, every little trick. And I went to the jeweler and I was like, I can't get this off. And he's like pulling I'm like, look, it won't come off. He's like, Mike, get the saw. And so he got the saw the
Is it
ring.
scary to get it sawed off?
No, it's like a little thing, the plate. So it's not, I was just like, no, this is my real ring finger.
This isn't my face.
So, and then I was like, we didn't have, traditional wedding. I just wanted like nice photos. So we went to Yosemite and did like an adventure photo shoot, like climbed the mountains and stuff like that and did that. And then did like a 4-week honeymoon. But we went to City Hall to get our marriage certificate and we were in front of another couple and the guy was also named Patrick. And so we're like, oh, that's interesting. And so they did their thing. Then we did our thing and we're going up the escalator. And I was like, I should probably just make sure that it has your name on it. And it had the other Patrick's name on it. And I was like, I went back down. I was like, this is not my husband. And so they changed it. And I was like, is this like changed only on this paper? Or is like,
are we really married?
Yeah. I should probably, now that we've been married 4 years, I probably should check. I'm like, it's like one of those things that when you're fighting, you're like, I'm not even married to you, you know?
That's perfect.
So yeah, I know I should probably say that. But yeah, so I was like, I don't know, maybe the universe is saying something like between the ring and the marriage certificate. So yeah.
I feel so bad for him, the poor guy. I mean, like trying all those different times. Oh yeah. That must have been so stressful.
I think I could see his face like, and I was just like, it's okay, like I will say yes.
Yes.
So.
But I think being, a successful businesswoman, it's, how do you feel about that? Or what advice would you give people of women particularly, what kind of guy does a successful businesswoman need, do you think? Or,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
It's hard.
Like, I've
been divorced twice.
Yeah. I mean, like juggling a career, wanting it to grow, if you start a family, and have kids. I mean, it is hard as women because like I don't have any kids. But yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, like my life, I mean, you just kind of have to choose, you have to choose. I mean, like you have 5.
Five. Come from 7.
And then I should probably ask you the question. Yeah. Let me ask. I'm going to put the mic over there.
Great track record.
Yeah.
I think what I would say have learned is choose a man that supports you and like is your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can look like that and it's not really that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like writing this book, learning, my mom had told me fairly recently, that my dad kind of was like, there can only be enough room in this house for one successful person. And I'm like, I sensed that, growing up. And I think it's hard for women to not like outshine the night. And you need a man that understands, has their own shine.
Yeah. I mean, my husband, works for a company. I mean, he doesn't have the entrepreneurship. Like he doesn't want that,
right. Not everybody wants that. That's fine.
I mean, he gets to watch whatever TV show while I'm like plugging away, you know what I mean?
Yes,
24/7.
I do know what I mean.
But, he does support me. Like he understands that like me going to networking events a couple nights a week. I mean, he basically takes care of the dog,
Yeah.
So, but you need someone that knows that doesn't, is okay that can support a successful woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's important that I have friends that don't have, or with someone that doesn't, and it's very challenging,
I know personally, I would go small, not even really realizing I was doing it.
Yeah.
And then looking back going, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to offend.
Yeah.
And similarly, family. I mean, I know we've talked a little bit about but I feel like that's a thing. And coming from 7, I think all of us siblings would say you could never get too big in that house. There was just so many people.
Yeah.
And it was common. My sister does breath work. She has her own business, and we're like our best cheerleaders. I'm always like so proud when but it's hard to to be visible. Did you feel like that with your family, and maybe like with your sister? I can imagine that you might have.
I mean, it's so funny because I think I was the oldest. My sister's 12 years younger than me, and I think that my mom used to be like, my favorite daughter. I'm like, stop saying that, she didn't even. I mean, obviously I was older, and my sister was always younger. But
no, I know what you mean. So it's not fun to be the favorite.
No,
it's totally overrated.
Yeah, and I mean, my sister decided that she wanted to start a bakery. I was going to invest in it. It was going to be Bliss Dallas. She decided that she wanted to do her own thing, but I still, it's like hard. You're caught in the middle. Like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, And so I ended up licensing her my recipes, like giving her my entire 200 plus.
You gave her your family's secrets.
Yes, exactly. I mean, she signed a non-disclosure and all that good stuff, and she was supposed to give us 30% of her profits. And I didn't even take it to top line. And, and she was supposed to report monthly sales so that I could help her, and she just never made it.
Do you think she ever blamed you? And that would be so wrong, but right?
Yes,
and you're like, what more could I have done?
Yeah. I was like, you have to hustle. You need to go and you need to be there. I mean, I remember when I first opened the store, it was January until the end of March. I worked 7 days a week. We were open 7 days. I mean, I was there open to close. Like I wanted to make sure like everything in my business, like, that's where you learn like the mistakes, like especially in food, like you have one bad food experience, you're not going there again, customer service or whatever. And so, and I was like, she would like, I don't know. I mean, like I even at one point when she was going downhill significantly, I was like, I'm going to send Amanda, who's my pastry chef, to there. No, I don't need that. I'm like, I tried everything, I mean, on our dime, I gave her all the recipes and stuff like that, but
you can't do it for her.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I hustled the sales. Like I went and did networking events, did catering. I mean, like build relationships. It just, again,
but it's your passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think maybe hopefully someday your sister will find her own passion.
Yeah. Yeah. So
whatever that was when, and I love how you talk about when you were little, you were creative and you're like, I got to get back to being creative again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I know I loved to draw when I was a kid, but my parents were like, you can't go to college for drawing. And I was like, why not? They're like, go to University of Chicago, get your college degree, and then you can do something else. So yeah. And then now owning the bakery is my creative outlet.
Totally.
It's like, I'll tell my pastry stuff. I was like, someone was like, hey, do you guys have any AAPI, which is Asian American Pacific Islander, which was last month, cupcakes? And I was like, no. And I'm AAPI. And like for 16 years, I was like, well, what should we do? And they're like, and we're like, we did a bubble tea cupcake and a passion fruit. And I was like, that stuff is like, I love doing that, trying new stuff. So it's I'm still using my creative outlet or my finance, but the creative outlet.
Exactly. It's funny. My son is an econ major from, Wisconsin and really smart kid and did supply chain and he's 27, but hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. Like it's also kind of lined up with the bad breakup thing.
Yeah.
But now he's doing woodworking and he is so happy.
Oh,
and
that's
he's
great.
always been a hands kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not making any money, but he doesn't even care.
Yeah. But you never know.
It doesn't matter. Right.
It just,
I mean, you can make beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll end on this.
Okay.
Dun, da, da. She's like, and it's not an angel card this time. It's a question card.
I need to cleanse myself again.
You just get to read it.
Okay. For me, money means.
Ooh.
I mean, it's obviously money can buy you stuff to make you have a comfortable life. But I'm just more passionate about like having a balanced life. I don't need, a yacht and, all that stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Take care of it.
Yeah. I just, like if we did really well and grew Sugar Bliss to a nationwide brand, like it's funny. I went through the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program and there's a mod called financials and you have to present your growth financials for 5 years. And I was like, okay, if we're in like this many Walgreens, this many Target, like what would our financials be in 5 years? And it would be $57 million.
Wow.
Okay? And so my entire cohort is holding me to that, along with the super yacht. And I'm
along
like,
with the super
they're
yacht.
all like,
and
how
then
many
you get
cookies?
your super yacht.
They're like, how many cookies have you sold? I'm like, not even close to getting a little rowboat, like just, So like, I mean, like if I did 57 million, like that's great, but I think I would go back and give it to wildlife conservation, helping like women minority businesses like grow. Like I really
it's
don't. It's
really
feel like,
really fun to give back.
Yeah,
and like
no, it
so
is.
We have a little foundation, and I love it. I mean, I get great joy from. That's how I got to Taylor Swift because Gigi's Playhouse, and it was an auction thing, and I get crazy with the auction band.
You're like,
I beat this little girl who was adorable.
Hope she got tickets somehow.
She did too.
Yeah.
But we met on the dance floor and we had a moment. She was
Yeah.
adorable. But I think you're right. I mean, I think there's great joy in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you read it, I was thinking freedom. I think that's what I would say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah.